if I had just gotten out of university again and I had to start looking for new full-time jobs for the first time in my career, here's how I would be building my network. Okay, so first of all, everybody always says your network is your net worth. Everybody always goes on about networking, building connections, etc. Okay, now a lot of people think having a network or building your network is basically who your parents are friends with and stuff like that. Those connections are great to have, don't get me wrong. And I genuinely think any connection you have with somebody, use it, build on that, go from there. Okay. But the best way to actually build a network from scratch, and this is what this video is focusing on, is very simple 3 ways to do it. That if I had to start again, here's how I would do it. So first things first, finding the people you want to be. So if you want to be networking, first things first, you should really understand your environment, understand your end goal, understand where you want to be in the next 10 to 15 years. And what I would be doing is I would be reaching out to, before I even do that, sorry, I would be going on LinkedIn and I would be trying to connect with people who have these senior titles that you eventually want to have. And with this, I'll probably be sending out a bunch of different connection requests on LinkedIn. It doesn't have to be 100 or something crazy like that, but just start with maybe like 10 to 15. Just send the connection invite and that's it. And then with that, maybe reach out to 1 to 2 people after a couple of weeks or couple of days, whatever you feel is most comfortable and whatever you're actually reaching out to them for. So I wouldn't be reaching out to them saying, hey, can you help me get a job? I would say, hey, look, I've just done my studies in X. I've noticed that you've got the same degree. I really want to be in a position like yourself one day. What would you recommend to do if you were in my position? Just something like that. Just a quick message, doesn't have to be too long, 4 or 5 lines, that's it. And with that, you actually end up building a connection there, you know. That is very, very important, I would say, when you're in your early days, because you're gaining industry insight, industry exposure, and you're actually having powerful conversations and important conversations for your own career development with people that are doing the things that you want to do. That is really, really big. So I would say do that. First of all, find the seniors in your industry, find the people that you want to be like, and reach out to them from there. You know, don't be scared. You know, you're just sending a message. You're reaching out to them for advice and to have a conversation. You're not harassing them for a job. You know, and these are people just like you. You know, they're not going to be angry at you for asking for some career advice, because chances are they probably wish they had that when they're in your position. So that'd be the first way I would be starting to build up my network if I was just out of university or if I was even still in university. Number 2, identifying the companies you want to work for. This is the best one, I would say. Find the companies you want to work for. Find maybe 5 to 10 that really stand out to yourself. Find maybe 5 to 10. Just work out internally as to what's important to you in a company culture, size of the company, what the company can achieve, etc., and identify those companies that really stand out to you. Now, what are you going to do there? You can't just reach out to a company and be like, hey, can I have a job? What you want to do is when you're in those companies, 1, find the seniors, as I mentioned before, find the people that have the jobs that you want. And again, same personalized message. And the second thing I would be doing is the hiring managers. I would be reaching out to the hiring managers or their HR team, whoever is their people-centric roles, reach out to them and really try to identify what they look for in an ideal candidate, what's the company standard, and are there any opportunities that they may know of. Even if there's not, you're still happy to have that conversation and build a relationship there. That's the other way. And the other good way I would be saying is that when you're in these big companies, particularly with these companies they want to work for, if they are a larger company with a massive size of employees, try to find the juniors in that position. Try to find the people that have those titles that you're actually trying to get into now, and say to them, hey, look, I noticed you have this job. We have a very similar background. I would love to get into that first position like you've got right now. Any tips for me, or how did you break into it? Just try to understand a couple of things, and that's it. You're building the relationship, and that's all that you're doing. You're just trying to gain knowledge. You're trying to gain insight. You're trying to gain the tips as to how they got to the position that you want to be in, and that's really, really important. And with that, you do that with enough people, that's more connections built, that's more friendships built, or not friendships, relationships built, and that will help you over time. And number 3, I would say, are recruitment agencies. So a lot of people think that when you work with a recruitment agency that you have to pay them a fee or something like that. As a candidate, it is completely free. Obviously, if you ask them for more like personalized, detailed consultation, depending on the agency, they may charge you fees. But if you go to them and say, look, I need a job, help me get a job, they'll help you. Okay. Recruitment agencies, I would say, are the best way for particularly young grads to get jobs, because they basically are free consultants as well. So when you go to these agencies, obviously if you identify what you want specifically, like you have to be really specific with a recruitment agency. You can't just tell them you're open to a bunch of things. They're too busy to care about that. Okay, so you reach out to them, you say, I want to be this thing in 10 years time and I need this position to help me get there now. Bang, easy. Okay, obviously again, you need to understand they're not genies. They don't click their fingers and the perfect job comes there for yourself. But again, when you reach out to these recruitment agencies, it's about building the relationships and having that relationship compound over time. Okay, so build those friendships, build those relationships with the recruiters, and just see what opportunities they may have in the next 1 to 2 to 3 months. You know, that's the biggest thing about networking. I also must add in is that it is a complete patience game. You are not going to these people and after 1 week, if you don't get a job, you're cutting them all off. It's all about building the relationships, because networking is about right place at the right time, and you get presented with that opportunity when you do the right things from the very, very start on a consistent basis. Okay. Also, with working with recruitment agencies, these people, their role is to find you the best job possible. So reaching out to them, they have the connections, they have the pipelines, they know the best opportunities, they know the best culture fits for the right people, and they'll be able to identify that with yourself. So be clear with them with what you want, build the connection, present as best as possible, present as professional and as safe as possible, and eventually that right opportunity will come. Okay? Remember, as I said before, this is a complete patience game. Do not rush into it, okay? Do not feel like if you're not getting results after that first week, it's all a scam. Networking is extremely important, and you will notice eventually as you get older, when you're 40, 50 years old, you're going to be getting jobs that you didn't even have to apply for because your network did it for you, okay? All of that starts now, okay? Yes, it's great if your parents have friends and connections, etc. That's great, but you want to be able to do it on your own as well, okay? Still use those connections if they exist and they're valuable, but you should also be able to stand on your own 2 feet, okay? Anyway, I thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys took some value from this. If you are interested in booking a free consultation call with myself, you can do that below. We'll have a quick 30-minute chat. We'll work out your goals, personal goals, and what you're trying to achieve, and I can work with you closer on a one-to-one level, and I can help you with your professional development, okay? Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.